It all really started with like my father and my mother really. My father came here just like something out of a movie really, came here by accident. He said, barely speaking a lick of English. He was living in his car at one point, like telling my mom back home. My brother was born back home in Jordan, just like telling him that all is well and that he's like, setting up, establishing himself, but in reality, he was like still trying to achieve that. Coming back from a small village back home where like barely anyone knows of it, Balila literally is the name of it. From going from such a small village to a huge major city like San Francisco is just unreal. His goal was, of course, to bring his wife and my brother out here, and when they did that, my dad just decided, you know what, I'm not going to work for anyone, rather I'm just going to try to establish myself. He ended up going to SF, he went to school over in San Francisco and got his doctorate in law.
I totally relate to that because my father came from a village too. Had to escape the communist movement in China and make it here, but same thing, didn't speak English. So tell us a little bit about, a little more about Mazra.
And Mazra, of course, means the farm. My father always envisioned like having a restaurant down the line. He scrapped the idea of the grocery. We decided just to make it strictly a restaurant and hopefully down the line, like something like a coffee shop and a juice bar that could essentially bring the community together. So we'll host events, like we had an art show recently just last Saturday, which was like a huge success. Traditional food, I mean, that's like one of the main things that when it comes up to Mazra, that's one thing we want to stick to our roots essentially, all whilst providing like an American twist to it. So that's where that fusion comes in, Everyone knows what a shawarma is, but some folks don't really like it the traditional way because it's super simplistic, like a traditional chicken shawarma, for example, just simply has garlic, lavash bread, tomatoes, and pickles. Some people hate tomatoes and pickles, so like what's left of it, So we changed it up, made it so we have two different options now. You could go with the traditional, where we, of course, sticking to our roots, or you could go with the street style, which is giving a little bit of a twist, where it's essentially served on like with tzatziki sauce, which isn't really as like profound down in back home, but it tastes amazing nonetheless. It is actually what we're known for, I'd say, which is interesting, being that's not so traditionally based. We get some of our like pickles, for example, from Helen's Pickles, which is actually a mom and daughter company that just serves pickles, literally, and they're here like locally based in San Bruno. So little things like that, definitely, like family businesses supporting other family businesses. When we were designing it, we wanted to make sure it was like a place that was very welcoming. We didn't it's one of those places where you could bring a special somebody, come in for a cute date, or you could come in with like PJs and just to grab a wrap.
So Jordan, tell me, what are your favorites on the menu?
Personally, my number one item is like our chicken shawarma plate. That's a bit more traditionally based. It's like a super simplistic plate, but I feel like a lot of Arabs tend to like put their pride on the rice, which is of course what we put our pride on, because that does make like a large portion of our meals. So that's just simply some basmati rice, served with chicken shawarma shredded up, that's on the rotisserie. And that's like served with our homemade garlic sauce, our hot sauce and such. Another super popular dish we do, of course, is our 6-hour lamb shank. 6 hours, that should just speak in volume alone. It's like cooked on a low temperature for a long duration, making it as tender as it is, like to where it falls off the bone. And that's like a lot of people get intimidated by lamb, but we try to get rid of that grainy taste to it, where a lot of people tend to like avoid, to provide them more of that tenderness. And that's like just an outstanding meal where I noticed that meal as well was very intriguing to like most people that came from like Pacific Island countries.
where's the origin from of the food and the taste?
We're Jordanian, like my family's directly Jordanian. However, we don't really put our food, like we don't like to label it a certain country, but rather just all of the Middle East. So that's why we go with like Middle Eastern cuisine essentially, where it's like you could get stuff where it's our desserts, which is made by a Turkish chef, or you could have our hummus, which is made by like a Jordanian ingredients.
You just told me you're still going to college, you're 20 years old, which is
Sir.
amazing. You and the family have the vision to put this together.
Thank
Well,
you.
I appreciate your time sitting down
Absolutely.
with us to
Thank
do
you.
this. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Let's do that.